Hello, friends. I'm Siddharth. I'm a 2018 Inc. Fellow, and today I'm going to talk about how I solved diabetes, or let's say how I'm solving diabetes. So, as most of us know, diabetes is like a killer disease, a silent killer. 537 million people globally suffering from diabetes, and unfortunately, India is a diabetic capital. 77 million of us having diabetes, and United States is about 33 million at this point of time. So, it's a huge disease. Though we may know a folk or a friend who has diabetes, but they may be living a good life, and you may be thinking, what's in it for me? Uh, they are living a good life, but that's not true. If you see, my mom got diabetes when she was 37, and in a span of about 18 years, I've seen her suffering through eyes, neurons, kidney, and from kidney leading to cardiac arrest, and I lost her in the last year. But more importantly, why this was very important to me was in 2018, she got her kidney affected due to diabetes. And in 2016, I was diagnosed with diabetes. And I've seen the progression of how diabetes can actually take you through the whole life, right? And I wanted to solve this for sure and wanted to see how really we can make a big impact around it. So, of course, my background is in bioengineering, and my PhD is from Medical Device Innovations in ISC Bangalore. It's India's premier institute, and wanted to know exactly what's happening in the research. Right, I saw papers lasting from nutritional effect, physical effect, meditations around it, etc., 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 and everyone trying to do one piece or the other, but somehow it didn't feel right to me, right? Because my background being that, I thought this is not going to be the right way. So when I went deeper and deeper in the last 10 years, there have been studies right from Hopkins to Harvard which talks about how brain and your diabetes is connected, especially the hypothalamus in your brain, and how it is connected to your pancreas and islet cells, which basically synthesizes insulin. So I thought, okay, this is something interesting. We should look into this carefully. And that gave the spark of how Zeuron.ai, which is my current startup we were building. And our entire idea for Zeuron.ai is to decipher the brain, understand the neural pathways and the muscular pathways, and can kind of see how we can solve this chronic conditions and neurodegenerative conditions. So what we did was we tried to do something unique in this space. We thought, okay, what was one thing that was fun when we were kids? And I got an answer as playing games and sports, be it outdoor, indoor. It was like a fun time. But unfortunately, as soon as we go 18, somehow we stop playing games. Life takes over precedences, I believe. So we wanted to bring games back to our lives. And when I say games, I wanted to see how really you play both physically and mentally. So we started to build this cognitive computing based gaming console, right? Which doesn't work on a joystick or a keyboard, but where we use the concept of interactive games that you must have seen in a Wii or a Kinect, where you play the game, where you jump, character jumps, when you duck, character ducks. But we want to do something more. When they are playing these games, we wanted to give stimuli to your brains through the medium of game, and wanted to see how do you respond to that stimuli. How do you really like what was the time that it took for you to duck or jump or any other activities that is required for the game. And that's exactly what we built. We built a whole system which could do it, and then we started to test for diabetes. So we had, with our limited resources and being a small startup, we kind of made a small 26 member cohort study where we wanted to see the effect of games, especially from cognitive perspective, in reducing the diabetes. So the 26 people cohort had an average A1C level of 10.1, and we wanted to see now what happens, right? 10.1 is very, very high. Typically, normal range is 6.5 or less. 6.5 or lower. So we wanted to see how really it starts working. So what we did is we told them that you do whatever you're doing in your life. Eat the same kind of food, eat the same kind of, take the medicines the way you used to do it. Don't change anything for us in our lives. Why? Because we are humans. If we tell you don't do this, this is the first thing that we are going to do. So hence what we did is just told them, Why don't you add this 20 minutes of game time in your life just before you sleep? And then let's see what happens. And the magic started to happen basically. So within 3 weeks, what we saw that their estimated A1C levels, which was at 10.1, started to come down to 7.9. And that was like first step towards reduction in diabetes. And then when we further worked, we saw that in 3 months, the overall A1C level started to lower down further. And finally, in like 3 months, they were reaching the normal stage of around 6.5. So that was the benefit that we were looking at. And all this only by playing games. But it's not like only by playing games. What happened is, because they were mentally and physically both stimulated, slowly they started to feel good about themselves. And when they started to feel good about themselves, they started to cut down and improve their nutrition as well. Hence, all of it giving a cumulative effect which reduced their overall sugar levels. But we didn't want to stop that. We knew that we are up to something big, something different. And using this cognition as a pathway, we could do a lot of good in the world, right? So we started to look into Parkinson's patients, look into Alzheimer's patients. So in this video, a Parkinson's patient is basically playing a game. And when he started to play these games, using his neck, if you see, he's controlling the whole game through the neck. His tremors started to even get controlled. In fact, he purchased a console just because he was having a lot of fun. And then we started to see how we can use in other conditions like stroke, cerebral palsy, etc. So we kind of installed a couple of consoles in clinics in Bangalore, which were rehab focused. So we gave them the clinic and we could see the stroke patients improving the way they were rehabilitating. Cerebral palsy kid, he was enjoying and having fun, doubled down his rehab time. And hence overall, it was all coming together. Now that we have done, we are now kind of consolidating our work in diabetes while we research, do more work in the other areas of brains and brain-related disorders. But if you see, US alone has 6.7 million Americans living with Alzheimer's dementia. We have about 1 million of people living with Parkinson's, right? So many brain-related disorders. Stroke, dementia, migraine, so on and so forth. So we want to see how we could actually work in each of this one after other and try to create a bigger impact in this world. Thank you so much.